How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at ScrubGames, and today we're back with another deck profile, and this time we're going over the Set 24 Black BROLY updated list, because if you haven't seen it, in the Set 24 spoilers, we have some BROLY support. I think it was in green, we had some Legacy BROLY support, and some of that was good enough to boost Black BROLY, because even though it's like a green BROLY card, it still boosted this quite nicely, not directly, but partially, because it's a BROLY card support. And also in the TPs we got a good bit of BROLY support to help us make the leader a little bit better and a little bit more fun. Like, it was already fun to be with, but now it's a little bit more consistent and a little bit better, because that's what Legacy Sport's there for, to basically just make something that was older a little bit better to keep up the times. So if you're interested in the video, stay tuned and have a watch, and also don't forget to support the channel by giving it a like if you enjoyed the content. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions or suggestions, and also don't forget to subscribe. It keeps you updated with my videos as and when they drop, and by clicking the notification bell you get alerts to when my videos do drop, so you can watch them there and then or at a later time. So with that out of the way, let's go and have a look at the new updated Set 24 BROLY and see what's cooking with it. So Set 24. So 24 sets in, and we got a bit more support for Black BROLY. And if you don't remember what Black BROLY does, well, we're gonna have a look and see it, because remember, we're on Deck Planet, being the best and only real deck builder for any DBS card game, and very easy to use and very useful, especially when you do content. And now we have the content review. We can do things like this to bring up the leader, so we can have a look and see what exactly it does. So Black BROLY, this is one from all the way back in the Overrealm block. That was, well, it wasn't even a block really, it was like 2-3 sets back around about set 3, because yeah, before Shenron's Wishes, so about, it was probably set 3, set 4 that we had this, and it was just the standalone leader, just a Black BROLY that just in support of one of the BROLY movies when they had it in film, because they had never a leader like this, being the Gogeta one that also got some support in a recent, like, well, a set not long ago. But now they've got some more support, and this one gets some little bit of support. It's had, what, 3 or 4 cards to support it, or like kind of cards to support it. I think 2 direct ones, like the one in this set that makes it a little bit better, and also another one from a few TPs ago. But it's just one that doesn't really have an archetype. It's just a standalone weird leader, because it's not amazing. Like, it doesn't have like really good support, and but it's a Black Saiyan, so it's got some Black Saiyan stuff, but then it's a Black Saiyan that wants non-black cards to like do things. So it's really weird, but it is nice, a bit of flavour, a bit something different, and also it did get in the, what was it called? The Mythic booster kind of thing. It got a alt art, like what you're seeing on here. This is not the original art, this is the alt art, because the original art is not the greatest. So we went with the alt art because it looks a bit nicer. So with this leader, on the front side, it's got is a 10k, awakens into a 15k, and goes from BROLY to BROLY Legends Dawning. And it's got an auto when this card attacks a leader card. So it's got to attack a leader card back in the, because remember, it's from the Overrealm block, when you got to attack a leader to get things that get draw, where it isn't just attack. We didn't have that for a while. But then when you attack a leader, you may choose one card in your life, place in your drop areas, or you're critting a life. You're given the option to crit a life when you attack a leader, so no direct draw. And then if you do so, you place up to 3 cards on top of your deck in your drop, so you're milling yourself, and then your opponent chooses 1 card in hand and place it in the drop area. So essentially that boils down to, if you swing at a lead and crit yourself, you can mill the top 3 cards of your deck, doing what some other black decks do already without needing the crit life, and then your opponent can ditch a card, but there's at their choice, so they can put something they don't care about in there, or they can put something, well, it's up to them what they want to do, like put a dead card in, put a setup for something they want to do, and that's that. So, not impressive. You can probably look at it, like, see, it's not impressive from the front side, but then it does have Awaken, where when you're less at 4 or less, so when the old school Awakens, remember it was from the Overrealm block, you draw 2 and Awaken. So basically you have to go down the 4, flip over, draw 2, flip over, and now you become BROLY Legends. So when you might think, now it's got a little bit better, right? Because it's Awaken now, 15k, you just drew 2 cards. Not really, it's not that amazing, but it is a lot better than the non-Awaken side. So now you Awaken your BROLY Legends Dawning. You now have an auto when this card attacks, draw a card. So now you're swinging and drawing a card. So you're actually gaining cards this time, which is great. And then you may choose one of your non-token, non-black battle cards placed in the drop area. So you've got to have something that you've got to have a battle card that is not a token, that's not black, and then sack it off. you still get the draw. So you can choose not to, because it's May, so you don't have to do that. You can just swing, draw a card, which isn't very impressive, considering what things do in the format at the moment. But if you do decide to swing, draw a card, and then sack off one of your non-black non-tokens, that's what we're playing, not like other cards that aren't black in here, just to kind of trigger this. Then your opponent chooses one card in the hand and places it in the drop. So essentially doing the same thing as your front side, but rather than crit life, you're killing your own stuff, but you're still at least drawing a card, adding a bit of hand control in black, which is something you don't see nowadays. Normally with black, if they do hand control, it's normally warping, but this is still in the discard route. So you want to put in non-black cards to kind of trigger this. So we know that already this is not just a plain black deck. This has also got a different color in it. But you also have an activate main where once per turn you can choose one card in your hand, place in your drop area. So ditch a card from your own hand. And you might think, is that effect good? Like, if you discard a hand, it's got to be good, right? Well, the effect is to choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Which is not too bad. Ditching a card from your hand to just KO one of your opponent's battle cards is pretty nice. But it doesn't get through barrier or anything, it's just ditching a card, which you can use to set up things in drop, which is really nice. And then you pop something on your opponent's board, so you got a bit of board control, set up something in your drop, like what black decks really want to do. But it doesn't go around barrier, which would make sense because it was back in the Overrealm. I'll probably say that a lot. It's back on the Overrealm format block to when barrier just came out, and it was there to protect things from just easy KOs. So yeah, nothing special. So you can already see nothing special in this, but we've got some cards to kind of benefit this and make it a little better. And when we first try it out, because when we first try it out, it's quite fun. You can go quite aggressive. If you get like a high roll, you can go quite well, but if you get a low roll on what you get and what you mill and stuff, it could be quite bad, but that's all the fun of it in this kind of deck. So that's what the leader does. So nothing too impressive, but let's have a look and see what the cards support it, make it a bit better. So starting off with, first of all, the brand new card being SS4 BROLY Provoking Attack. This is the new card this leader specifically got, so this is specifically for this leader. Because it's a 6-drop 35k, so pretty big and pretty impressive at that. SS4 BROLY Provoking Attack. It's got permanent where if your leader is a black BROLY card, so specifically this being the only black BROLY leader, this card is also treated as green in area, so it's also a green card for effects and stuff like that. So we can see it's a 6-drop 35k, and permanent also 5k combo, so it's at least a good amount of combo. So you might be thinking, how do you get this out? Well, first of all, we'll see from the auto, because that's really how you play it. You might think it's in the activate main. No, it's in the auto of how it's played out. And both effects are limit 1, so you can only use the effects of each of these effects once per turn across all the copies of the card. So the auto is if your leader is a black BROLY card, it's your turn, and you discard one card from your hand. So it only works with this leader. You need to have it be your turn to be able to trigger this, and have to discard a card in hand. So you're thinking there's a fair few bits of discarding there just from the leader in this alone, but it could be worth it. You can set up things in your drop, and we'll see more of what the deck does. So don't judge it just yet. But once you've done that, once you're playing this lead, is your turn. You discard a card from your hand. The effect is when your life leaves your life area by one of your skills. It could be from your lead, from something else. Remember, you can have things like cards that take a life to, like, kind of think of that, like things like saying Kaba and stuff, things that take a life to kind of get a boost when they attack. Those can trigger this as well, because you just have to leave your life area, but one of your skills doesn't matter where it goes, just need to leave your life area. You play this card from your drop, then send this card to your warp. Well, this from your battle area to your warp at the end of the turn. So essentially, you can free play this from your drop. So you can free play from your drop a 35k beat stick from your drop by discarding a card from your hand when it's your turn, and you take a card from your life and place it somewhere else, which is quite nice. So you can either use it from the leader's effect, which is not too bad, but you don't really want to crit your life. You'd rather take it things like that, or even like self-awakening. So I think it can even trigger from another one if you use effect on it, because it's got the activate main as well, which is limit 1 for 1 energy. If your leader is a black BROLY card, and you discard this card from your hand as a cost, so pay 1, discard this card from your hand. You get to play up to 1 green BROLY with energy cost of 1 from your deck, shuffle your deck, then add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. Now, I think this will trigger it to come out turn 1, because of the fact that you take up the cards from your life, and it's a card effect that is adding cards from your life to a different area. So by using the activate main to kind of set up a turn 1 green BROLY, which you've got some good targets in this for it, like it's not too bad for it. And then you can essentially play this about so you can get 35k beat stick from the get-go to then just go and pound down. Yep. And so we play 4 copies of this because it's the easy way to awaken. Because remember, when you lead, it awakens at 4 less life, and this can take up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. So it's a quick way to awaken. Just turn 1, do this. Turn 2, do this. It's quite good. And you don't want to be critting your life to attack a lead. That's not great. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be critting a life just to potentially do that. It will trigger this if you do that, but then you're not gaining anything. You're just making your opponent discard, and then you're losing life, which could be useful. So you play 4 copies of this as a good way to awaken now, and a searchable as well. And let's see whatever cards. We'll go for the black cards first. So we've got a super combo. So since we're not really playing a mono black deck, you can't really have the SS Vegeta super combo, which is like the better one for black. So we're just going for a normal super combo. Just when you last 4 or less, draw a card, because you want to go down to 4 or less life to awaken anyway. And we're just going with the Son Goku because it's Goku Zeno, so you can set up with like Zeno plays and things like that. And it's just a normal 4 life, and it's at least 10k base, so you don't have to worry about things shutting off, gaining combo power, stuff like that. So just go 4 for that. Just black super combo. When you last 4 or less, draw a card, and it's a Saiyan as well, so it could be useful in that situation. Then we're playing 4 copies of Supreme Kai of Time, Guardian of Space Time. So this is the one that when it's milled for top of your deck, you're like leave it as a black Saiyan. You could play it from your drop if it's milled from the top of your deck. And when you've got 5 or less cards in your hand, when it's using the combo, it gains 5k combo for the battle. So this allows you to give you extra combo power because you're not going to have the biggest hand size really in this deck unless you awaken well. But with this new SS4 BROLY, can make it a little bit better in keeping a decent hand size. But this allows you to, while you're on a low hand size, just get some good combo power to kind of defend yourself. And I'll play 4 copies of it because you have some effects to mill, which could allow you to mill this and just gain some extra cards on board. So it's quite a nice card, and this is the new art from the I think it's from the anniversary box, which is quite cool. So some nice ones you can get for this. And then we've got 2 copies of Son Gohan Hostile Saiyan Counter. So we're playing a black deck. We're going to play the black SGR, the Son Gohan rare, because it's a really nice one that allows you to defend yourself. So this one allows you to, while you're at 4 or less life, you can add a card from your life to your hand and place 1 card from your hand in your at the bottom of your deck to basically negate the attack and play itself out from the warp or from drop or warp in rest mode. So it's a nice way to get around counters by still being negate attack. Very good thing for this. Since you can also mill yourself and use combo it, having your warp or drop after overrun and stuff like that. This is a pretty nice one, and you could even use it as a I don't think you're really going to use it as the Z effect because you're going to be charging green because that's the other color we're going to be playing. So there's no point going over that. We're just mainly using it as a free negate to kind of help defend life a little bit easier as to get around counters and stuff like that. And now we're going to go to the green stuff because that's just 4 black cards we're playing. So the BROLY, which also counts technically as green, super combo, Kai for extra combo power when you got low hand size, and the Goku is like a nice little negate that gets around counters. And we're starting off with target. So we're going to go from the low end to the high end with these cards, and we've got the BROLY. So what are the BROLYs you can grab? So this is one of the 1-drop BROLYs you can basically play out from your deck from the new SS4 BROLY, where you also help awaken, and it's BROLY Dawn the Rampage. So all the way from set 1, and it's a 1-drop that when it's played, you get look at the top 7 cards of your deck, add up to 1 green BROLY among them to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So you can either grab another copy of this SS4 BROLY, which is really good. Get that turn 1 awaken, turn 1 take 2 life, and play out this 1-drop. Then the next turn, so basically awaken turn 2, which is very nice. One thing this deck did struggle with before we got the support was awakening. So we've got 4 copies of this because it's just nice to get consistency because there's a very few green BROLYs in there. And then we've got another one that can also help trigger your the S4 BROLY, help you awaken and get yourself a nice beast deck, which is BROLY the Tame Beast. This is a 1-drop that we got from the Evolution Booster set, and it wasn't amazing for that stuff. It came out with some good, some BROLY stuff. But this one's a nice one because now it can be played for free out of the SS4 BROLY straight from your deck. And the main effect we're going to look, so we're not going to worry about the other one because the other effect on it. The second effect, which pays 1 green, requires your leader to be a monogreen BROLY, which ours obviously isn't. So it's only the first altar we're going to care about, and that's add up to 1 card from your life to your hand as the cost. When this card attacks, it gains 11k power for the turn. So it becomes a 15k attacker by taking a life, and that can trigger the SS4 BROLY to bring out that 35k beat stick out the hand, out the drop, straight to the board to just basically attack. And as well as that, ditch something from your hand that might could be dead in your drop, like setting up this Son Gohan rare to your drop or anything like that, or another copy of self, which is quite cool. And this allows you to help trigger the guy, bring out these big beat sticks when you're at lower life, and help you get to a point where you want to Z-Awaken as well. So we got 3 copies of this. So we got player targets, 4 targets for this SS BROLY, and 1 for a good consistency, 1 to help put some aggression on as well. And then we've got one of the ever new ones we got in this set as well. In this Space 6, we got the SS4 BROLY from the TP, and we got SS3 BROLY Impermanent Agent of Destruction. So it's a free drop 20k BROLY, but you're not going to be hitting free energy. You got to print out cheaper because it's got an activate main, which is limit 1. For 1 energy, if your leader is a BROLY card and you have 3 or more energy, so you have to get the turn free just to trigger this. Play this card from your hand. Simple as that. So you get the free energy, play this card from your hand as long as your leader is a BROLY, which it is. And it's got some really nice autos as well. So the first one is when it's played, it gains 10k power for the turn, making it a 30k on when you first play it. And after that turn, it's just 20k, which is still pretty decent. And it's got never auto where it wants to limit 1, so you only, if you've got multiple copies out, you can only trigger this one of them for the turn. And that is when this card attacks the opponent's battle card, you draw a card and switch the card to active mode. So it allows you to help clear your opponent's board and then go off and help clear your opponent's board by swinging in and drawing and restanding and attacking something else again. And so you can clear your opponent's board, or you can just attack one of the battle cards and swing at lead afterwards. 30k on both swings, which is quite nice. And this adds a little bit extra draw power. And if this survives, you get more draw power while going to it, as long as you can attack to an opponent's battle card first and then into a leader after. So 4 copies of this, because once again, never green BROLY, so never a thing to search for, and a pretty decent card, and it's sort of just 5k combo, and more green for more of our evergreen effects. Then we've got 4 copies of BROLY Invincible Agent Destruction. This is a really nice one because it allows you to recycle your BROLYs, because it does have an on-play effect, but there's no really real way to play that, apart from when we drop the 8-drop BROLY. But it's got activate main, which is for 1. Discard a card from your hand, and now it's 1 Agent Destruction card. Agent Destruction in its card. Well, one card Agent Destruction in its card name from your drop to your hand. So it allows you to get back your Well, I think you can get back your secret rare. You can also get back this Impermanent Destruction, or you can get back another copy of itself. So it allows you to grab back this one, which is a nice one to drop out, or you can get back your secret rare. So that's quite a decent one. And then we've got the basically one of the main keystone parts of the deck, and that is SS3 BROLY Saiyan Berserker. So now we come to the bigger guys, and one of the main things from this deck that's going to allow you to get that consistency going, because this one is one you want to have set up in your drops. You want to try and get this in your drop as soon as possible. You can do that easily from your leader's effect, being BROLY Awaken Legends Dawn, popping on your opponent's battle cards, also doing it. And also you can drop it from your hand to the drop by the SS4 BROLY provoking attack as well. Because this does have an annoying permanent where if you have any non-green cards in the area, you can't play this card from any area, but we don't have to worry about that because we've got an effect that allows you to ignore that. So that's pretty decent. The activate main you're never going to use, so I'm not even going to go over it. It's mainly the other 2 ones, the other 2 autos, which is, this is a 35k beat stick you can get out for free. And its autos are, the first one being, when you play this card, choose up to 1 green BROLY with it from your hand with an energy cost of 7 or less and play it. So you can play out any BROLY at 7 cost or less. So you can get out provoking attack. Like, great, you don't have to worry about that. You would rather get this from drop from his own effect. You can bring out Dawn and Rampage if you want to, but you mainly the 1 drops you're going to be playing off the provoking. You can get one of the 3 drops. One can play itself, and the other one's just mainly there to get back your secret rare and the Ever BROLY. And there's a better type, which we're going to see after, but you can basically free play out at 7 cost or less green BROLY from your hand from this, which is pretty nice to get out some big effects and some big pressure. And the other effect is one nice one you can do by it's another thing you can also use the SS4 BROLY here to kind of trigger. So the new card to basically play itself out can help trigger this, because this is an auto where when this card is placed in your drop area from your hand by a skill, and your leader card is BROLY card, choose up to 1 BROLY's ring from your deck, activate it and shuffle your deck. Then if you do, choose 1 or 2 cards from your hand and add to your, from your life and add to your hand. So if you have this SS4 BROLY in your hand and you use its effect to discard it to play out a 1 drop from your hand, that'll then and then take up to 2 life. If you take any life, then this can then trigger its own effect. to then discard a card from your hand, being this card here, to play itself out as a 35k beat stick straight away. And then this effect can trigger to then play a Broly's Ring, which we do play here. We play Demonic Restraint, which is basically a copy of Broly's Ring. We prefer to go for Broly's Ring over Demonic Restraint because there's no really difference between them because they don't really do anything. But this is just an evergreen card, and this, so you can play the old Broly's Ring, but this is a more up-to-date one if you don't want to go back to set 1 to find Broly's Ring. So you've got Demonic Restraint, but I get this can be an expensive card, but it's just copy of Broly's Ring because you're going to be playing this off the SS3 Broly Berserker here, so that way you can get the life taken from it, and then have a green card in your battle area that adds to like things that if you need something to tap for like if your opponent plays Meki or you need to tap things, you got this as an option, or as an evergreen card for other effects like your lead and stuff like that. But this just allows you to help you take your life a bit more when you discard it, just to help you awaken quicker, so you can potentially awaken turn 1 with the combination of these two. And then the 7-drop you're going to be playing off the the main card you're going to be playing off SS3 Broly here is Saiyan Berserker. So that is Broly Supreme Berserker. Now this one is a 7-drop 30k, so never a big boy. It does have critical and barrier, so it's got that protection and barrier, and also critical to deny your opponent resources when you swing him. And dropping this very early is going to be very nice, and a very good play as well, and it adds a bit of control with this deck. So its auto is once per turn, burst 5 when this card attacks. If your leader is a Broly card, you can choose one of 2 effects. Remember, burst 5 means you need to mill the top 5 cards on top of your deck. So you can hit some horrible cards, you can mill some cards you don't want to mill, but then you can also mill some nice ones like the SS4 Broly, go into the drop so it's ready there if you take any life to play itself out for free. You can mill the Supreme card and then get that played on the board, or you can get the Gohan to then allow you to have like a free kind of negate that gets around counters, which is cool. But the 2 options you got for this Broly Supreme Berserker is, first one is if your opponent has 3 or less cards in your hand, you can switch this card to active mode, so you can get 2 attacks out of it. So your opponent's got a very low hand, 3 or less, so you can get this as essentially 2 critical hit swings out of it, which is quite nice to deny your opponent resources if they've got low hand. Then they're not going to have ways, they're going to either combo out this to try and not take the crit, which is wasted more cards from the hand, or they're going to take 2 crit hits and not be able to do anything about it. The other option is if your opponent has 4 more cards in their hand, you can make them reveal their hand, so you actually get a look at actually what the contents of their hand is, and then choose one card from your opponent's hand and place it in the drop. So you can basically look at the hand, see what they've got, and basically see if they can kill you next turn, if you can kill them this turn, and then just rip a card from their hand and put in the drops any card of your choice. So 2 very good effects out here, and having critical means you're going to be denying them resources as well, which is quite nice, adding to that, making them ditch more cards from hand. And also having barrier means you have a nice bit of protection, so if you don't kill them that turn, you've got a protection on it with barrier, which is very nice to have. So these are 2 cards that could be dead in hand with their 1 cost 10k, but remember you can always ditch them. You just need one of the Supreme Berserk in your hand to be able to drop from the 8-drop, and you can always you want to make sure you got this in drop, so you're going to be discarding this if you ever have it from effects that could make you discard. So those are the main 2 combos, the big things you're going to be dropping out when you go to a big turn. And then we've got the secret rare being Broly Ultimate Agent Destruction. Now there's a very easy way to get things off board, which is quite cool. So you can use your leader's effect when you attack to sack off one of your non-black cards, being like any one of these cards that isn't black. So unfortunately it doesn't count the SS4 Broly because it is a black card, because it's both black and green. You can't choose that. But any of your card that is not, so mainly like your 8-drop here or your 7-drop here, you mainly want to trigger by swinging your lead to sack those off to trigger this, because this is a big ass secret rare. So it's got 40k power, so big guy. Double strike as well, so pushing 2 damage, and dual attack means you can get 2 swings in with that double strike, which is quite scary. And it's very easy to try out because it's got an auto when one of your green battle cards with energy cost of 7 or more is removed from your battle area by a skill or KO'd. You can activate the skill by choosing all other cards in your hand and place them in your drop. And if you do, play this card from your hand. So you can sack off the rest of your hand and play this out for free. And you're normally going to be doing that when you're going all in. So luckily, this Supreme Berserker, you can see if your opponent's got like any floodgates or anything when it attacks. If it does, then you're not going to play this. But if they don't, you're going to drop this out. Because on that swing, you're going to be denying resources and then seeing what's the hand basically to do. So it's quite nice. And then you got the other auto when this card attacks. If your life's at 4, if your life is at 1, your opponent chooses all cards in their hand and place in the drop area. So you basically make your opponent ditch their entire hand, and with 2 attacks, even if they negate the first one and lose everything in the hand, and then you get a swing again. So, and you can easily get down to 1 as well, because remember you got multiple effects to take life. You've got Broly to tame to help you take life. You've got SS4 Broly provoking attack by using the effect to take it, and also SS3 Broly when it comes out you can play a Broly's ring to help yourself go down to 1. So it's very easy to set up for a very like go hard or go home kind of strategy. And remember, if you do mill it off any effects, don't worry, you've got the Broly Invincible Age instruction here to be able to grab it back from your drop if you do. So even if you lose it by milling it, it's never gone, thanks to this nice card here. And this way you play 4 copies of this to grab this back. Then we've also got some cards to help in the drop to help kind of like defend a little bit, or even set up some more hand control to kind of limit your opponent's resources. And we've got Zarbon Cosmic Elite. So this is a nice little 2-drop, easy to get as drop. A nice thing as well you can discard off of like any discard effects you've got. And when it's on board, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in hand and it's moved from the battle area by a skill or KO, your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. So this allows you to keep your opponent's like hand limited with all a fair few discard effects. So we play 3 copies of this because also another green card you put in as well, and a nice kind of thing you can revive from the drop as well. So you can keep, if you've got nothing in hand ready to use and you want to get some of these dead cards in hand, Zarbon is a great way to do that. Then we've also got an Overwhelm. We've gone for SS4 Vegeta, Thane Greetings. It's a nice little Overwhelm to kind of push a big swing in as well, so add extra pressure. And also it has a nice effect when it's played by Overwhelm. Your opponent chooses 1 card in hand that sets to warp. So it's kind of added hand control, and it's like the bit of hand control in this that isn't affected by anti-hand control, and it allows you to make your opponent warp a card in hand, and also added like a free added bit of control to the hand as well. So we walk up to that because it's never a black card, so it doesn't add to the green card stuff that you kind of need, kind of want in your you kind of mainly want to charge green, you want to recharge black, but it's a nice little extra card as well, and it's nice to have it overall. You're normally going to drop this when you're trying to push as well. If you don't see it, you don't care, but if you do see it, it's going to be a nice addition. And then we've got some more cards. We've got more green cards that help kind of have a control strategy, kind of limit your opponent's hand. If you want to make sure your opponent's hand is limited by having like swings that take cards out of their hand, crit swings, things like that, just control the board and control them as well. And this is a good one to make use of these 1-drop Brolys you get off the provoking attack, so you can attack with the Broly Tame Beast, kind of trigger things, and also add a bit of hand control and make use of them after you use them. Because we have SS4 Barlock, Paternal Unisons. It's nice little unison that adds to a bit of control on, and also helps deal with sort out your opponent's comboing for Z energy by having a nice little auto where when your opponent combos, you can place that card up to 1 card from the combo in the drop, and if you do, you get your skill for the turn. So a nice little way that if your opponent's comboing out of attacks or comboing to get Z energy, you can use this to kind of limit the amount they can get in there by making them either combo more cards than they need to, or just not get that Z energy. And it's got very useful effects. It's got the +1 allowing you to get more markers on it, and that allows you to make use of the 1-drops you bring out via the SS4 by allowing you to choose one of your green battle cards that costs a 1 KO it, and if you do, your opponent discards 1 card from your hand. So if you don't have something to discard, you can still +1 to kind of gain. But you're normally going to make sure you are popping a 1-drop to do that, to make use of it. And the 1-drops have nice effects to kind of keep that consistency going, so it's just a nice way to make use of those 1-drops you get out. So rather than, you can either use those 1-drops as combo power to kind of get Z energy, or you can use them for Bardock to allow you to just disrupt your opponent's strategy, limit their hand, reduce their options. And if you do get this on the board and you get enough markers on it, you just have a -3 where it's activate main. This card gets 5k power and triple attack for the turn, and then you get a 20k triple attack to kind of put some more pressure into killing your opponent when you want to go for it if it survives that long. But normally this is going to be a nice thing to track cards attacks when your opponent's leader to kind of like try and kill you. So this, because your opponent doesn't want this to be on board and don't want to give you cards, but then since you can awaken quite quickly with this deck, even like turn 1, it doesn't matter. But so allowing you to either opponent to have a choice of trying to either push pressure on your lead or to essentially try and get rid of this unison that's being annoying and just a threat to them. You can put them in a position where you can either protect your leader by having this on board, or this allow you to make it harder for your opponent to try to deal with you, where if they're trying to combo, you're sacking it off, and then the later this goes on, the better this card can be. And then the card go with it is the 1 copy of Charismatic, since this is now limited to 1, because Bandai thought that was a great idea, when technically it was. They'd hurt a lot of evergreen strategies outside of Gohan. We're going to put the 1 in, because then your opponent's got to think, well, you've got the Bardock on. Do you have that 1 copy? And that's the annoying thing with these limited cards, where does your opponent have the 1 copy of it? If they do, then they've high rolled the RNG, be on the draw into it. If they don't, then they don't. And yeah, so if you have Bardock on it, you can always, at the very least, it's a charge or a 5k combo. But if you do have that Bardock on board, you then got the option to have the Charismatic in hand to just go free play it when your Unison have 2 or more markers on, they then pop one at 7 or less. So that's the list, that's the main deck. And when you look at the Z deck, you might be thinking, how do you get this card out? Because it makes no sense. Well, let's have a look at the Z deck. So we've got 7 different cards, so we've got 7 different options. Luckily, the Z deck does go up to 10, but I built this before the rule change. So before we saw the rule change, about 10 Z cards with less than 7. So you can update this and even put more copies of some cards in. But we're going to have a look. So we got first of all, we've got the Z lead, which we've only got 1 copy in. If you want to put more copies in, because you're afraid of if you use the first one you can't kill, not going for the second one, well, you can change that because we now got 10 options. But this is the Z lead for this. So as I said, this lead kind of got like support for it. This lead actually got support, which was weird considering it's like a standalone movie leader that has no archetype or anything, but it did get some bits of support. And this is one of them, being a Z-Awaken or Z lead from the anniversary box is the one it got from. And it's SS3 BROLY Surpassing Legends of big 30k power. It requires 2 Z energy, double strike as well, and it's got a Z-Awaken that requires 2 energy, and you'll have to be at 4 or less on a black BROLY. So what you need to do is awaken for this to be alive, and you golden. But there are some restrictions for it, because it has to be, I think it is, your turn. So you can only awaken when it's your turn. You can't do this defensively, but you can be a 30k double strike lead, which is a nice way to push pressure as well, being a 30k lead double strike as well, and put everything into it. So it's a nice way to finish. And it does have an auto, and this is how you get out that 8-drop BROLY, because it's also when this card is played, by discarding 2 cards from your hand. So you got to discard 2 cards from your hand to trigger this. So the auto requires 2 cards from your hand as a trigger for the cost. When this card is placed in basically in your leader area, play up to 1 SS3 BROLY, Saiyan Berserker, from your drop, ignoring its permanent skill. So you get basically free by discarding 2. When you play this out from your Z deck on top of your lead, by discarding 2 cards from your hand, you get to free play that 8-drop ISR BROLY from your drop to the board, ignoring its permanent condition. And the permanent was you can't play it if there's any non-green cards in any area. So even though we're not playing all green cards, you can still bring it out by ignoring some of the conditions by going into your Z lead, which is quite good. Now you might be thinking this is busted because it's a 30k lead that's double strike, but unfortunately it doesn't stay around permanently, because it's got an auto where at the end of your turn, at the start of your opponent's main phase, remove this card from the game. So you only get it for that 1 turn, put some pressure. That's why I call it like a go hard or go home deck, because you're going either really hard on that 1 turn, or you basically just die in the next turn. But it also does have a really nice activate main, which also another way to help trigger your secret rare, but I can't drop it on board and add a bit more control to your opponent's hand. And as activate main once per turn, place 1 non-black card from your battle area in your owner's drop. So it could be the Saiyan Berserker or the 7-drop. And then you get to choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards to send it to the owner's warp. Doesn't ignore barrier, which is a shame. And also your opponent sends 1 card from hand to the warp, so you get to drop a card from your opponent's hand and also wipe something off your opponent's board, be it a block or anything that's going to disrupt you, which is quite nice. So you get that things out of the way, and you get to sack off your BROLY to be able to trigger out the secret rares conditions to drop it. And so that's the Z lead we've got. Then we also got a Majin Buu Pure Destroyer, because we are a black deck, so we've got this card in, and it's a really nice one to just suck up things on board and just add some kind of like cheap pressure as well, because you can get 25. I'm not really good over this because you might hopefully know what this does. And then we've got the SS4 Vegeta surmounting the impossible, another way to help us get into awakening conditions. So if we are struggling to awaken, this is a nice way to help us awaken. That's always available in the deck as well. So we got this as one of them. And then next we've got a SS3 BROLY Tyrant. So this is a never good card to help bring out cheaply. So it's a very cheap card you can bring out for 1 and 1 Z energy because of its permanent. All we have to do is sack off a non-unique green card. Luckily, you can put that fill card in the battle area as a basic card to use for this. And then bring it down, make it double strike, and then also sack off another non-unique card. So another way to trigger your secret rares condition to play. And give a bit of pressure with this as well. So you've got more options. Like all the BROLY cards give you like good options to kind of put some pressure on and all like help each other out. And then we've got the SS BROLY Demon Revive. So this is a nice one for if you've got like a low hand size, you can help use this to kind of get that Z energy ready for your Z lead, and also get some cool hand control as well, because this one has a permanent where if your leader is a Broly card, you ignore the specified cost in all areas, and it can't be KO'd by skills while it's in the battle area. So it's something that has to be destroyed by battle and can't be removed by basically can't be KO'd by skills. Just KO'd, can still be removed by other ways by skills. And when it attacks, it allows you to combo use up to one red or green card with psychic combo from your drop in the combo. So a lot of cards in your deck can be used with it, all the green cards that have psychic power combo. And then if you've got 4 or less cards in your hand, you get draw cards. So it allows you to get some free combo, draw a card as well to kind of up your hand, and also has a nice little activate main, allowing you to discard a card from your hand. So basically set up things as well. So set up conditions, set cards up and drop, and pick from add up to 1 card from your life to your hand as well. So trigger another way to trigger your SS4 Broly as well, to be able to drop by taking on life, and also set things up and drop. And then you get the options you get after, because that's just the cost of the card, being to discard a card and take a life. Well, discard a card being a cost, add a card from your life being an optional part of the effect. Then you get to choose 1 or 2 effects, like make your opponent discard a card from your hand, or pop one of your opponent's battle cards that has 20k power or less. So you got nice options like board control or discard from hand. Nice options there. You can even up more copies of the S3 Broly here, and the Broly Tyrant and the S3 Broly, extra free cards in your deck if you want to. Remember, this is just 7. You can go up to 10 now in your Z deck. Then we've got, because we've got the Z-Unisons now from this set, we've got a Bardock Father's Help, so another useful card we can just get from the Z deck rather than from our board, and has some useful effects. So first one is once per turn, when you battle cards with blockers removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you can add a marker to it. So if you've got a Zarbon from the turn before that you've just set up on the board, and you have this out, if you can either block to defend this with Zarbon and then trigger out discard a card from hand, but if they try to remove the Bardock from your board, you can add more markers to this to kind of like keep it around a bit, because it has no way to gain markers outside of that. But then it has some good activate mains, which are both adding no markers to them. So the first one, if your leader is green, draw cards. The first one you're not going to matter because your leader is not green. It's more for the ever effect, being activate main. Place 1 of your Z energy in your owner's drop, and your opponent discards a card from your hand. So add an extra way to get a free discard and not take anything in your hand. Just basically sack off one of your Z energy you've got there from like comboing with anything, and sack off your opponent's Z energy card. And because it's coming with 2 markers at a cost of 1 Z energy, so 2 Z energy to drop this, or 2 Z energy and 2 energy to drop this and make your opponent discard. Now 315 game swing is quite nice. And the longer this survives, you basically just go sack off Z energy to basically make your opponent discard cards. And if they go for this, say you lead, you're surviving longer to do more things and being more annoying for your opponent. So you've got 1 copy of this, and then we've got 1 copy of Gigantic Meteor of Destruction. You could have, like, the thing with this is you could have ever extra cards, but then you've got the black one you can use, which requires sacking off Z energy. You've got the green one that requires sacking off Z energy, but you can't get the effect of the second effect on it because your leader's not green. Where the black one you can, but then you've got to sack off Z energy, which is not great because you don't really charge too much Z energy, because you want Z energy for your ever Z cards and also for your Z lead, which is mainly what you want to set up. But this comes out and is quite nice to basically just give an extra, like, some boost to Broly's attacking the battle cards, but mainly just a free 10k you can get offensively or defensively to a card. And if you give it to a Broly and the Broly destroys a battle card, you can get some extra benefits, but that's only if you really need to control board. But it's mainly just there for an extra free 10k, putting more cards on your board. That could be handy for effects that need green and stuff like that. So that's it. That's it for the deck. We don't have a side deck because this is just built to play casually. I don't have the cards, but I might see if I can borrow the cards if anybody's got it to kind of try it in some gameplay if you want to look for that. And if I can, I'll try and get some gameplay for this, kind of like let you see how it performs. Because it's more of a casual deck. It's not really a meta deck, but it's more a casual one. But getting a bit more support in SS4 Broly here, and also with the Z-Unison as well. Like, it's got a nice bit of support to kind of help awaken a bit quicker, get some better Broly battle cards as well, and just have more fun time being very annoying to your opponent. So if you're interested in this kind of like annoying strategy, go ahead and try it out. If not, then just hope you don't play against it. But that's it for me today. Thank you for watching, and feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.